just try to be the best player I could be. You know what I mean? It was just a constant thing, just trying to improve every year. I played the game, I had a lot of pride, you know what I'm saying? So I think I put that out, in front of me, and I played as hard as I could, and I just tried to be the best player I could be. I think it was just that I was playing at home for the team I grew up, rooting for. I always get nervous before games. Even playing this Big 3 tournament I play in, I still get nervous. That's when I know I'm going to play well. In New York, I was just always concerned of being booed there. I never wanted to get booed in the Garden because they will boo you in a heartbeat. I can say I accomplished that. They never booed me the 2 years that I was there. And that really drove me to really always play as hard as I could, just that I never wanted that to happen. I think I had 6 surgeries cleaning out my knee or whatever, getting the infection out, different things like that. After one of my last ones, the lady that was supposed to be our business partner but ended up just being a really good friend, she suggested me to use CBD. So even though I knew it helped my grandmother, I didn't know if it was going to help me after knee surgery. I'm like, that's totally different than some with eyes and whatever else. But she convinced me to try it. She's like, here, try these. She gave me 4 different products. One of them was a cream, one was a tincture, different things like that. And she was like, try this for a couple of days and see what happened. Ever since then, I've never used Vicodin, I've never used an anti-inflammatory, I haven't used anything. I've been straight cannabis. I've been able to cope, and I'm a guy that actually had 17 surgeries throughout my career. Cannabis is definitely my medicine. At the point where we are now, especially with legalization of marijuana, I think that it's very important that we get out all the medical benefits of marijuana, because I feel that it just gives people an alternate way of medicating themselves. Myself, like you said, I played a long career, but for at least 7 straight years, I used anti-inflammatories every single day just to be able to cope with pain. And then I found marijuana, and it's something that I feel like is way safer, way better for my body, and I feel great. So, I just can imagine how it could have been if I could have used it throughout my career. It was my grandmother. She's the name of our actual company. I was ignorant to the fact of all the good things that marijuana provided for people, but being that I was playing in Colorado when legalization happened, it was always in the news. So I was always watching, hearing about it, different things like that. And my grandmother had come to see me, and she was in a bunch of pain. She suffered from glaucoma and diabetes. And just 2 days before, I was watching the news and they was talking about some of the benefits, and glaucoma was one of them. I was like, Grandma, I was just watching the other day that they said that marijuana could do this, that, and then she was like, boy, I ain't smoking no marijuana, you better get out my face. And I'm like, Grandma, well, this is what they sell in the news. She's like, I don't care what they sell in the news. It ruined your uncle life, and your grandfather did this, and everybody did that and the third. So I was like, all right, Grandma, it was a losing battle. So the next day, she was in pain again, and I talked to her about it again, and I was able to convince her to try it. She tried it, and within an hour and a half, she had instant relief. She's been a user ever since. Like I said, my grandmother's the reason why we got into the business. We started off as being caregivers. In 2014, obviously things were recreational, so they kind of killed the caregiver model. So we had to my cousin actually had to decide, did he want to be a company? And we kind of sat down and talked about it, came up with a business plan that was good enough that I was willing to actually invest in. So I invested in him. It's been a great experience. We specialize in shatter wax, crumble. We're doing vape carts. We're working on some creams now, actually THC cream, that would actually get you high instead of just strictly pain relief. So we're constantly working, evolving. We have something called full spectrum extraction, which is like the crystalline, and reintroducing the terpenes, which is everyone's super excited about, especially, the terpene game right now is huge. Our extractors have, really locked in that process, so we're constantly getting better with that product. We're always evolving as a company. We're working with a couple possible joint ventures with some celebrities on different strains of marijuana and extracts, and pen vape carts and stuff like that. We're working hard, it's just like anybody else. We're actually expanding as a company. So, obviously we're in Colorado now, but we're expanding to Michigan. We're expanding to Portland, Oregon, and Arkansas. Those are the 3 things we have on our plate right now today. Looking for opportunity in California always. But it's been a lot of fun, like I said before, and learning a lot, daily. Every month in this industry is like 2 years almost. That's how fast things are moving, and things are changing at a rapid speed. As far as the decriminalization and stuff like that, I just think about, how many friends and people that I know that have felonies on their records for marijuana possession, and it was less than a pound, less than an ounce, different things like that. And it affects their lives forever. And they cannot get a job at McDonald's almost. Just trying to get behind that and trying to expunge some of these guys' records and different things like that and allow them to work in the industry. I feel like, The war on crime, is obviously heavily, aimed towards the black communities. Like a stat of 2010, 52% of all, drug-related arrests was marijuana. And now there's an industry where people can potentially make billions of dollars. So I think that's just something that needs to be fixed. I say cannabis, it's like all attention comes to me. And they're like, oh my God, I think it's the greatest investment. How do I get involved? This, that, and the third. I've been smoking since I was 12. Once I started talking about it, I realized it was so accepted. And it's funny because I really struggle with finding the people who really are totally against it. I sometimes feel like those people are made up because I never run into that kind of opposition when I talk about this industry and this plant. So from that standpoint, I don't have an issue with my kids explaining to them what it is, because the biggest thing with my 7-year-old daughter, she just can't understand the difference between a joint and a cigarette. So as soon as she see anybody smoking marijuana, she's like, Daddy, they're gonna get cancer, or you guys are gonna get cancer. Just giving them that education, and I know by the time they get 12, 13 years old, they'll be around it so much, they won't be paying any attention. It'll be so normal to them. I don't have too many crazy stories, man. I had crazy teammates. I can give you a top 3, and then you could just come up with any story you want. I would say the craziest teammate I've ever had was Ron Artest. I've known him since I was like 14 years old, and he's just always been a little off, but one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Coming in at number 2 is Stephen Jackson. He's just another one that's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. And then number 3, and I played with him late in my career, but was Kenyon Martin. He's another one that's just off. We call him Angry Man. He called me Cheese. Cheese, I'm the coolest person in the world. I don't bother nobody. He always mad. I would say those are 3 guys. Craziest athlete I ever seen on the court was Vince Carter, and it was our rookie year. After the lockout, we played Toronto Raptors' first game of the season. He did like 3 dunks in that game that was just like video game mess, like a 360 dunk on Rick Smits, up and under, 2-hand. It was, I guess he was so excited to get on the court for that first game. He did 3 of the most amazing dunks I've ever seen. So it was Vince Carter. I'm Al Harrington, and I'm living the dope life.